You are making a huge mistake in your garden right now, and you don't even know it yet. Most American home gardeners look at July and think the planting season is basically over. They put their seed packets away. They stop at the garden center. They figure they'll just wait until next spring. And every single year, they miss out on some of the most productive, easiest, and most satisfying harvests of the entire year. I made this mistake for 3 summers in a row before a neighbor knocked on my door and changed everything I thought I knew about summer gardening. Today, I want to share with you 9 crops that you absolutely must get into the ground this July. And I promise you, by the time we get to number 6 on this list, you're going to slap your forehead and say, "Why did nobody ever tell me this before?" Plus, I'm going to reveal the number 1 mistake that almost every July gardener makes, and it silently kills their plants before they even get a real chance. So stay with me all the way to the end, because that one tip alone is worth everything. Let's start with number 1, and that is green beans. Now I know what you're thinking. You think you missed it. You think green beans are a spring crop and July is too late. But here's the thing that most people don't know. Green beans are actually a warm weather crop. They love the heat. And the beautiful part is that bush green beans go from seed to harvest in just about 50 to 60 days. So if you plant them right now in July, you're going to be picking fresh green beans in September, right when the heat starts to back off a little and the growing conditions are actually perfect. The soil is already warm, which means the seeds germinate faster than they ever would in cool spring soil. You skip all that slow, cold start frustration. Just push the seeds about an inch into the ground, water them in, and step back. Green beans do the rest almost entirely on their own. Number 2 is cucumbers. And yes, July is still a great time for cucumbers in most parts of the United States. Cucumbers are fast growers. They need warmth and they need sun, and July gives them both in abundance. Pick a bush variety if you are short on space. They mature in 50 to 65 days. That means fresh cucumbers on your counter by late August or early September. One thing to keep in mind here though, and this is important, cucumbers need consistent watering. If the soil dries out and then gets flooded and then dries out again, you end up with bitter cucumbers. So water them evenly. A simple drip line or even a soaker hose laid right along the base of the plant makes this effortless. Number 3, and this one surprises people every single time, is carrots. Most people think carrots take forever and need to be planted in spring. But carrots actually prefer to mature in cooler weather. So if you plant them in July, they spend their growing time in the summer heat, building strong roots, and then they finish maturing in the cool of fall. And let me tell you something about fall harvested carrots that nobody talks about. They are sweeter. When carrots experience that cool fall air before harvest, the plant converts starches into sugars. You end up with carrots that taste nothing like what you buy at the grocery store. Plant them now, and you will be pulling some of the sweetest, crunchiest carrots you have ever eaten right out of your own backyard in October. Number 4 is kale. And before you skip past this one because you think kale is not your thing, just hear me out. Kale planted in July becomes a completely different plant than kale planted in spring. July kale grows through summer and then gets kissed by the first cool nights of fall. And just like the carrots I just mentioned, that cool air makes kale sweeter and more tender. Kale is also one of the toughest plants you can grow. Bugs mostly leave it alone. It does not need a lot of fussing. You plant it, you water it, and you basically ignore it until it is time to harvest. For a low-maintenance gardener, kale planted in July is about as close to a sure thing as you will ever find in a backyard garden. Number 5 is radishes. If you have never grown radishes before, July is your perfect starting point. Radishes are the fastest crop you will ever grow. Some varieties are ready to pull in as few as 22 days. Think about that. You could plant radishes today and be eating them before the month is even over. They grow in almost any kind of soil. They take up almost no space. And they are incredible for loosening up hard compacted soil, which makes your whole garden bed healthier for everything else growing around them. Plant radishes between your slower growing plants, and they will be done and out of the ground before those other plants even need the space. Number 6 is the one I promised you would make you say, Why did nobody tell me this? And that crop is beets. People think beets are complicated. They are not. Beets are one of the most forgiving crops in the entire garden. And here is the secret that makes July beet planting so special. You get 2 harvests in one. The beet root itself, which you can roast, pickle, or eat raw. And the beet greens, the leaves on top, which you can cook just like spinach. So one plant gives you 2 completely different vegetables. Beets take about 50 to 70 days to mature, which means July plantings come in perfectly during September and October. They handle light frost with no problem at all, which makes them even safer as a late-season crop. Number 7 is spinach. Now here's where things get really interesting because spinach is actually a cool season crop, and that is exactly why planting it in July is so smart. You start the seeds now. They germinate in the warm soil, and then as the temperatures cool down into September and October, spinach absolutely takes off. It grows fast, it grows thick, and it keeps producing for weeks. The timing is almost like a magic trick. The summer heat gets the seeds going, and then the fall delivers exactly the conditions spinach was born to grow in. Many gardeners in warmer parts of the country get 2 full rounds of spinach harvest before the first hard freeze arrives. Number 8 is lettuce, and specifically loose leaf lettuce varieties. Lettuce has a reputation for being a spring crop, and that is mostly true. But what people don't realize is that if you give lettuce some shade during the hottest part of the day, it grows beautifully through summer and into fall. Plant it on the east side of a taller plant or fence so it gets morning sun and afternoon shade. The loose leaf varieties mature in as little as 30 to 45 days. You can start harvesting individual outer leaves while the plant keeps producing new ones from the center. It is called the cut and come again method, and it gives you fresh salad greens for weeks from just a few plants. And number 9, saved for last because this one deserves its own moment, is garlic. Now, technically, most people think of garlic as an October or November planting. But in many parts of the United States, especially in the South and in warmer climates, certain garlic varieties can go into the ground in late July and early August and do incredibly well. And here is the deeper reason why garlic belongs on this list. Garlic is a natural pest repellent. When you plant garlic around the edges of your garden beds, it sends out chemical signals through the soil and through the air that confuse and drive away many common garden pests. So even if your last frost date means you should wait until fall for the bulb harvest, getting garlic into the ground now protects everything else growing around it for the rest of the season. Now, before I let you go, I promised you the number 1 mistake that July gardeners make, and here it is. They plant everything, and then they water like it is spring. In July, the sun is intense. The soil dries out fast. A light sprinkle of water on a hot July afternoon actually does more harm than good because it evaporates before it ever reaches the roots. It can even scorch the leaves if water droplets sit on them in direct sun. The right move is to water deeply, less often, and always in the early morning. Deep watering pushes moisture down into the soil where the roots actually live. It encourages roots to grow deep and strong, which makes your plants more drought-resistant and more productive. That one change, switching from light frequent watering to deep morning watering, will transform your July garden results more than almost anything else you can do. July is not the end of your gardening season. It is actually the beginning of some of the best harvests you will ever grow. All 9 of these crops are simple, affordable, low maintenance, and perfect for a regular backyard in almost any part of the United States. You do not need to be an expert. You do not need fancy tools or expensive products. You just need to get out there, put these seeds in the ground, and trust the process. If this video helped you see July in a whole new way, I want you to think about hitting that subscribe button for one specific reason. Every single week on Chill Harvest Garden, we share exactly this kind of practical, no-nonsense gardening knowledge, the stuff that actually works in a real backyard without spending a lot of money or energy. The people who subscribe here are not trying to be master gardeners. They are smart, relaxed homeowners who just want a beautiful, productive garden without the stress. If that sounds like you, then you already belong here. We will see you in the next one.